Hi everyone. In this video, we'll see how to add response assertions using JMeter tool. We'll be using Calendar Google API. This is the API which I'll be using to add the assertions. This is the request and this is the normal response of this API. This is a normal GET request API call. So in this video, we are focusing on just GET request call to add the response assertion for a GET request call. Now let's go to our JMeter tool. This is the request which I've scripted. I've scripted for calendar list request. To know the way to script or automate it, you can check on my previous video, which is available in my Google account. Now let's move further. To create the response assertions, our first step is to right click on the HTTP request, click on add, go to assertions, and here you can see numerous assertions. It could be JSON assertion, size assertion, XPath2 assertions, and many more. We'll select the response assertions for now. Click on response assertion. In our response assertion, there could be many scenarios, right? As a test engineer, my scenarios could be to test if the response code is 200 or not, or to test if my response message includes some of the specific values or parameters or not, or to check if my request header or my response header includes some of the valid headers. Our first case would be to check if my response code is success or not. That is to check my response code is 200 or not. For that, I have already have added response assertion. I'll just rename it as response code assertion. Here, we'll just leave comment as blank. And since it is a main sample, I'll stick on to main sample only. That is apply to main sample only. And then field to test. What I'm going to test now here is my response code, right? So check on that response code, click on contains radio button, and my patterns to test is what value should it contains the response code. It should have 200, right? Click on enter type 200 and save it. This is the way to assert response code. Next step is let's assert the response header. For that, right click on the HTTP request, go to add, go to assertion and click on response assertion. Here I'll add response header assertion. Same main sample, but here in the field to test, I'll click on response header and contains patterns to test. Here I have already written that my response header should include content type application/JSON with character UTF-8. So if my response header include this header, only then the API would pass or else it would fail. Okay, let's save it. We have added response code assertion and response header assertions. You can even add request header assertion, request data assertion, or any text response, or checking if the response message includes some of the values or not. Okay, you can add a number of assertions in your API. Now let's run it. Before running, make sure that your authorization token is not expired. Since it's a Google API, you have to make sure that the token is always updated. For that, I'll just refresh my token and use one of the latest one. Now let's run our script. Before running it, I'll check the number of thread. I'll run it for 10 users. Okay, let's run it. It has executed. So all our requests are passed, but here two verifications are made in each request. One is The script checks if the response code is 200 or not, and the script checks if my response header includes the content type, which is application/JSON. Yes, it has. That's why it has passed, and my response code is 200. That's the reason the API has been passed. Now let's check how does it fail if the response code is not 200. For that, what we'll try to do is we'll just change our response code assertion to 400. You know, checking if our response code include 400 or not, then it has to pass something like that. And our response header, I'll just make it as 9. Just giving some random value. Now let's run it. See, it has failed because my assertions got failed. When you click on this, you can see what assertions had been failed. Response code assertion is failed, saying that it expects 400, but it has found 200. Yeah, and even response assertion for header has been failed, saying that it doesn't contain this value. So this is how we add response assertions in our JMeter tool for a GET request API call. Thank you.